speak directly to you. And what I want you to do is I want you to kind of remember those things, because at the end, I'm going to open it up and ask you to reveal maybe something that spoke to you about today's presentation, something that you heard that really spoke to you from that standpoint. So I want to thank everybody for coming, for being a part of this call. Again, this is our leadership development session number 2, and mainly on personal and professional leadership. And so what I'll do here, so starting with number 1, we're going to get right into it. This week, we're not going to go into the game because I want to make sure we get the content in and then give some room and opportunity and time for people to listen and to share what it is on their heart afterwards. And so the first one in terms of our leadership is, I truly believe that trapped inside every leader, inside every follower, is a leader. Trapped inside every follower is a leader. And basically, I basically believe that we have a historical problem. We're suffering from something called miseducation, because basically in life, through our culture, we've been trained not to trust ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We've been trained not to believe ourselves. We've been brainwashed to never know ourselves, because history is because we have a history of oppression, whether it's from skin color, whether it's from, being bullied, whatever it may have been, we may be passed over for something. Something has told us that we're not a leader. We may be leading in some areas, but we can continue to lead, and everybody can take their personal leadership to the next level. One of the reasons I put this personal leadership call out, and I would think that a lot of people would join it, but a lot of times people are conditioned to not think of themselves as a personal leader, not to think of themselves as a leader. They think that leadership is only reserved for an elite group of people, and those people are usually different from them. So therefore, it reminds them to kind of, quote unquote, stay in their place. And so tonight, we're going to debunk some of those things, so that way when we start to understand about leadership, we can understand that leadership starts with us, and that everyone was born a leader, and trapped inside everybody is a leader. You know what I'm saying? And so whether or not, when we look at our pigment, like I said, the pigment of our skin, when we look at our accomplishments, a lot of times unconsciously, we've accepted the fact that, we may not be a leader, or somebody else may be a little more qualified than us to do something. But I'm here to tell you that trapped inside each person, is a leader. The entire reason that I created this call, especially this personal leadership tonight, is because I wanted people to expand go through that conversion phase, where within themselves, they start to see themselves as a person that they were really, really created to be, more than just what they're doing right now. Because I think inside of each person, there's 2 things. There's what they call the spirit of leadership, and there's the leadership spirit. The spirit of leadership is basically what you were born with, the spirit. We breathe, we have life. It's a spirit of leadership. So everybody was born a leader, okay? But there's the leadership spirit. That spirit that has to be developed. That spirit has to be cultivated. That's the difference. That spirit has to go through trials. That spirit has to go through tribulations. It has to go through ups. It has to go through downs. It has to go through disappointments. It has to go through learning, a learning of itself. So again, that is the leadership spirit, that is inside of each one of us. I remember when I started to learn this, one of my mentors was Miles Monroe. He passed away a couple of years ago. And one of the things he did is he taught a lot about leadership. And he talked about that leadership spirit. And I started to see myself, I may have saw myself as a leader on the football field, what I did there. But even just getting there, even when I got there as a rookie, understanding that spirit of leadership, that leadership spirit, understanding that it didn't matter the tenure, it didn't matter the longevity, it didn't matter how long the experience level. If I develop those characteristic traits, then I can develop that leadership spirit. And I think so is the same thing for you. One of the things that I learned, that wherever there's been a history of oppression, for so long and it's been ignored, that is a place that you'll find somebody not really fully maximizing their leadership spirit because of that. And so I wanted to let everybody know that inside each follower is a trap is a trapped leader. That's our point number one that we'll talk about today. Point number two that I want to share is keys to discovering our personal leadership. What are some keys to discovering our personal leadership? And basically, when I think about that, I think about the fact that, you know what, a lot of people seek different positions. They seek positions on jobs, they seek positions on clubs, society, community, whatever it may be. But we don't need a position. We need a disposition. We need a purpose. We need a plan. We need something that's bigger than ourselves for us to go after in order for us to really feel empowered, for us to maximize ourselves. A lot of people are living below their capability, even those that are accomplished in business, even those that are accomplished in life, they're still living slightly below because we don't need just a position. And sometimes we get to a position and we get comfortable, but we need a disposition, something that's pulling us, something that's calling us further, telling us to move forward in our life. The second thing I think about when I think about keys to discovering our personal leadership is that we don't need power. We don't need power. We need to be empowered. And empowered is coming from on the inside. We need to be empowered. And that comes sometimes with a mindset change. You know what I'm saying? How do we change our mind? How do we think about ourselves differently? How do I look at our circumstances different? As a father, as a brother, as a son, as a mother, whether as a mother, as a sister, you know what I'm saying, as a child, whatever it may be, being empowered. It's nothing like when I used to go on the field. And I use these football analogies because, again, you know what I'm saying, I played football, but then I also done things after that. When I either got on a stage or whenever I got on the football field, I felt empowered. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just the power of just the weight room. I felt empowered with the knowledge of what was this team going to do? You know what I'm saying? What were they going to do ahead of time? What formation, what tendencies were they going to line up in that I was going to be able to anticipate and to be able to make a play. So the same thing for you. You feeling empowered in your life. You feeling, okay, do I know my wife? Do I know my husband? How much do I know about them? Do I know my children? How can I anticipate? How can I be empowered with information so that I can be the best person that I can be and I can leave a legacy of the life that I live, you know what I'm saying? And I can be empowered. And number three, the problem is not about people not, you know what I'm saying, not following. Problem is not people are not worth being followed yet. And that is the thing. The problem sometimes if we think about ourselves as a leader, we think about ourselves not being followed. That's not the problem. The problem a lot of times is people are not worth being followed yet. A lot of times when we think about it, we think about a celebrity. And what is a celebrity? A celebrity is someone that's being celebrated in a specific area. LeBron James, you know what I'm saying? He's a celebrity in basketball. Why? Because he has mastered the art of the basketball skills. He's mastered the art of being a teammate and being a leader. And so therefore, he is celebrated for what he done. He is a celebrity. So people follow him, whether it's on our job, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, hey, Tom, we talked about you in the tax world, you know what I'm saying? We talked about you in the tax world, you know what I mean? Whatever it may be, just being a celebrity from just owning your craft, learning your craft, being able to adding value to your clients more than just the X, Y, Z or the ABC, adding more value, you know what I mean, from there. Because leadership is first personal, then it's first personal, then it's public. This is for everybody. It's first personal, are we leading ourselves? And then it's for everybody else. And so this is where we take a time where we look at ourselves and we analyze ourselves and we say, you know what? How am I leading myself? How am I leading myself in my nutrition, in my health, in my wellness? How am I leading myself as a family man? How am I leading myself as a family woman? How am I leading myself, you know what I'm saying, as an addition to this society, in a community? What am I doing? Leadership starts first. It's first personal, then it's public. It's from that place that we take that sense of ownership, that we take that sense of obligation, and then we take it beyond that to that point, and then it expands from there. So remember, these are some keys to discovering your personal leadership. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to number 3 here. Number 3, what is the true difference of a leader? We have bosses, We have bosses, and but then we also have leaders. And I truly believe that there is a difference between a boss, and a leader. When you think about it, leaders don't just say, go over the cliff. A leader may say, hey, follow me, and then they jump. As I talked about it last week, I always used to say to guys on a team, hey man, let your actions speak so loud that nobody has to hear a word that you say. And I remember about the time that I shared with the example, about the time we went against, a team, and we felt like we were falling behind in our defense and we weren't getting the turnovers. And so the initiative that was just kind of just laid on my heart to approach people, to approach the defensive guys and just say, hey, follow me. I'm going to do this. This is what I need from you. First, I had to do it first, and then they came after me, because that's the difference between the leader and the boss. The leader says, listen, I'll do this. I'll do this. It's not natural for us to be timid. It's not natural. See, a lot of times people are timid. It's not natural for us to be timid. Our culture has trained us to not express yourself. What do they tell us all the time? Be seen and not heard. Be seen and not heard. Timidity causes people to not make things happen, but to watch the things happen. And so a lot of times there's things that we feel deep in our core that we're supposed to do, that we should do, that we should stand up for. But we wind up not doing it. Why? Because our culture has told us, be seen, not heard, stay in our place. But I'm here to tell you today, as you continue to develop your personal leadership skills, there's more for you to do. There's a calling for you to do way beyond what you're doing now. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about today. As we talked last week, we talked about if you don't change, if you don't change, you don't change into the personal leader that you're meant to be, your children will follow right in line. If they don't see you stepping out of the box, if they don't see you taking those chances, even when you don't quite know exactly what the end is going to be, but you're trusting your confidence, and your ability to fly, to swim, your ability, then they're more than a challenge. If they don't see that, then they're going to become timid as well. And so timidity causes people not to make things happen, but to watch things happen. And we don't want our children, to suffer by watching us. We talk about leaders don't wait. Leaders don't wait. They make things happen. If you're a leader, you're always willing to jump first. If you're a leader, you're always willing to jump first. Sometimes, as we say, you're not sure what is at the bottom, but you're not sure what's at the bottom, but your confidence and your capacity to fly, to swim, whatever it is bigger than the fear of what's at the bottom. Now, we all go through that. We all go through fear. We all go through that situation, that moment in time where it says, don't do this because we don't know what's going to happen. I've never done this before. But you know what? But as a leader, when we jump, when we fly, when we swim, when we go, we're trusting in that confidence for us to lead more than we're trusting just the fear of that false evidence appearing real, for us to go, from there. So I wanted to encourage you guys in that. So again, just understand, remember, there's a difference between a boss and a leader, and a lot of it has to do with going first. Number 4, how and where to discover your inner leadership skills. How and where do we discover our inner leadership skills? How do we do that? Inside of each one of us, as we talked about, is that leadership experience. We talked about in that spirit of leadership, and we talked about the difference between the two. But one of the things about that spirit of leadership, as we said, we have to learn and convert our belief system, about ourselves. See, if you believe, as they said, if you believe that you can, you believe you can't, guess what? You're right in both cases. And so understanding that we have to go through this belief chain. I remember, I couldn't, when I was a child, I didn't know that I can make it to the NFL because of everything I saw around me. The burnt, the houses where nobody lived in, the drugs, the gangs, you name it. There wasn't nobody that I knew. I was the first one in my house to go to a Division I college. So I never knew exactly what it was, but I had to change that belief system that I believed that I could. Through my time in my life, we lived in domestic violence shelters. We went through that within our home. So it was so much stuff that I had to overcome to get to where I was. In my belief system constantly had to say, whether I went out for track or I went out to a football, like, you know what, I can do this. You know, this next level opportunity, I'll never forget. The first letter I ever got from college was from Penn State. And I remember my mom said, and then bless her heart, she said, Donovan, every college you get a letter from, I'm going to buy you something from it. Now, granted, my mom lived paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Barely, we were on government assistance at different times of our life, but this time she was working. You know, I'll never forget, she bought me a Penn State. My first letter was from Penn State. She bought me a Penn State sweatshirt. I wore the Penn State sweatshirt, and then all of a sudden, the letters start coming in. And guess what? That was the last, gift I got, because that's all we can afford. But I say one thing about it, that when we got to that point where I started, my talent started opening up different doors for me, then my belief system started to change, and I started to continually go. And so, understanding that my belief system had to change. And so here it was. It took me to college, and then it took me to the NFL. It was times in college I doubted. I didn't know. I didn't know whether I can make it in the NFL. I said, I'd never done it before. You know what I mean? I never done it before. I've watched it on television, but can it be me? But all it took was, like we talked about before, leaders just continuously go. They believe in their confidence to just keep going, to just take one more step at a time. And so that led me to change my belief system about myself. Deeply embedded in the nature of man is that spirit of rulership and leadership. Deeply embedded inside every man, every woman, is that spirit of rulership and leadership. You were meant to rule. That's how I remember in the Bible, it says in Genesis 1:26, it says, let us make man in our image and our likeness, and let them have dominion over the earth, over the fish of the sea, and over all the cattle, and over all the things of the earth. It didn't say over people, but it said over things. And so inside of us was that spirit of rulership and leadership authority. So we still have that. And so whether we're exercising it or not, it's totally on us, but we still have that. And today I want to encourage you to bring it out. Most people, I totally believe, that will die as followers. They'll die as followers because they've never tapped totally into it. I was hoping that more people understood what we have tonight in terms of this opportunity, just to be reminded. What I'm sharing with you is just a reminder, just a reminder to bring you back, just to take that next step forward, or to continue where you're at. Maybe you're there already, and you just need a reminder. And so maybe that's where it is. Hopefully this call does that. We've been hardened, at the surface. As I said, our culture has taught us that we need to retract, that we need to come back. See, a lot of us have been harnessed like a horse. You see, at the end of the day, and I don't know if you rode horses or not. I rode a horse 2 times in my life. You know what I'm saying? It was nice. It was nice. But one thing I did learn about that horse is that you don't really control that horse. You know what controls that horse? That harness that's in that mouth of that horse. And that harness that's in that mouth of that horse is called to give that horse pain. And so it's not about you controlling, it's about the pain that horse doesn't want to feel. So it goes where it wants to go. And a lot of us is the same way. We've been harnessed like a horse to, we've been harnessed like a horse so that we can avoid pain. It's something that we're called to do, something we should do, but because we don't want to face the pain, we don't do it. So I'm here to encourage you today. Take a step towards that pain. Take a step towards that area, that area that feels uncomfortable to you, so that way you can maximize all the things that was here for you. Our culture is a bridle in our life, and it says don't go that way or it will be painful. My hope is that you regain your natural stallion spirit, which basically says, you know what, I'm here to continue to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm built like a machine. Inside of me is there already everything that's already needed to be on the inside of me for me to take my life to the next leader, because I was born to lead. I was born to lead, and so I must become a leader. And so trapped inside of each of us, like we talked about before, is that leader. And I must go through this process to become that person. You got to go through that person. It doesn't matter what age you are. We're always going through processes. That's why they call it generations. That's why they call it centuries. That's why they call it decades. That's why they call it, all different time periods. Why? Because they understand that this season, it says to everything, there's a season and there's a time. Well, you might be in one season, But I'm going to encourage you as you go to the next season. That next season has, if you're not coming out of something, you're going into something, or you're already in something right now. You're either one of those three things. And so, in each one has its own trials, its own tribulations. But I wanted to empower you today to realize your ability to lead in those things as well. I also always think about it, what I mean, as we are a tree, every seed has a plant. And when you hold a seed in your hand, you're really holding that tree in your hand. And the seed is in that seed is the tree. In that seed is the tree. But it must go through a process to become what it's supposed to be inside that tree. And so how do you make a tree go? If I got an apple in my hand, apple seeds in my hand, how do I allow it to grow? Well, first I gotta plant it. Then I gotta nourish it. Then I gotta give it time. You okay? Then it's gonna be hidden from the exposed. Then it has to go through then it has to fight itself through the soil. It gotta fight. You know what I'm saying? Then the ultraviolet rays from the sun has to germinate the seed and then it brings to life what it was supposed to be. My question to you is who's being nourished right now? Who's being planted right now? What's being planted right now? Who's fighting through the soil to become who they were supposed to be, and and the person and the type of person or the thing that they're becoming right now. My question is, who is that? When you think about it, we have to become who we are, you know what I'm saying? Because who you are is already who exists. That person already exists on the inside. But again, I'll keep saying it over and over and over. We were created to lead, okay? But in order to lead, we must go through the process. And so we don't need more followers, we need more leaders. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about it, some of our greatest leaders never went after followers. You think about Nelson Mandela. He didn't go after followers. He went based off of based off of the principle, you know what I'm saying, and his purpose and his passion that was in his heart. Martin Luther King, Gandhi, you name it. They never seeked after followers. They sought after their purpose, and followers came. What is it that you're doing? What is it that where is it that you're going? That it's not about the people that's following you, but they're going to see what they see, and they want to follow you because they feel empowered and they feel nourished, nurtured, and they feel compelled to join you in whatever it is that you're doing. Because I truly believe that you were designed to deliver a gift to this generation, and inside of you is something that is so unique. Inside of each person is something that is so unique. When you think about it, a mango seed has mangoes in it. The tree only exists to deliver the fruit. A mango tree has mangoes in it, but inside it, you know what I'm saying? But the tree only exists to deliver the fruit. When you got a mango tree, you never have to go to the tree, but for the gift. Leadership is the same way. Leadership is about getting people to know, get to know, to realize that you are just that tree, and people come to you for that tree. I remember, so one of the things about it, people go to an apple tree for the apples. They never go to the apple tree for the tree. They go to the apple tree for the apples. I want you to see yourself as that tree. And when you see yourself as your tree, and that people are here for your gift, that other people are here for your gifts, it protects you emotionally. It lets you know that, it protects you from being emotionally scarred. So that way, when people ignore you or people look past you, you're not scarred by that. You understand they're coming to you for your gift. Your gift could be administration. Your gift could be leadership. Your gift could be a visionary. Your gift could be in whatever specific area of service that you provide to your community. And so understanding that your life is just like a tree. And so when people come to you, they're here for their gifts. They're here. You go to an apple tree for the apple. You go to a mango tree for the mango. You go to whatever it is. But guess what? When people come to that tree, they turn their back on the tree and they get the fruit and they go. And they don't care about it. But my job, my encouragement to you is understanding you are that tree, but you are producing the fruit because you're here to deliver something special to this generation. And I want you to think about that you're here to deliver something special and something unique to this generation. And so I realized years ago when I got finished playing, I had, when I first finished playing, I didn't know what I was going to do. I figured, I was like, you know what I've been doing for the last 20 years of my life was playing football. You know what I mean? Well, when I looked around, nobody needed a tackler at UPS. You know what I mean? Nobody needed somebody that can hit somebody come across the middle. You know what I'm saying? At a Fortune 500 company, they didn't really need that. There was no office, no linebacker Terry. You know what I'm saying? Office linebacker Terry that they needed. So I had to find out what was it that what was my gifts? What was my gifts? And when I realized that my gifts were teaching and encouraging, I realized that. Then I had to realize, okay, well, what is it that I'm going to teach, and who is it that I'm going to encourage? And that's when I started the foundation that I work with families, on, providing resources to them, you know what I mean, and to them and their family, and connecting those resources together. Then I started then I started my sports camps. Then I started speaking to businesses and all that. And so what is it for you? Have you discovered your gifts? Have you discovered what those things are that are unique to you, that make you special? You know what I mean? Because that's who you are, and that's what you're here to deliver to this, to this generation. I'll tell you firsthand experience. One of the reasons why I was disappeared, or I didn't do a lot of things for a while, because I had been going through some personal issues. But then through those personal issues, I decided, guess what, Donovan, you still got these gifts. You know what I'm saying? You still got these things on the inside of you that you have to get out. You know what I'm saying? Can you push through the soil? So we're all pushing through the soil in one way or the other. And so understanding that as we continue to lead, as we continue to grow, we're leading ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And as we lead ourselves, we're growing ourselves, as well. And so I want to share that with you. One of the things about the fruit tree that I wanted to share with you guys is that people come to the tree to get the fruit. You don't have to promote yourself. Looking for the gift. A lot of the gifts that I received, or a lot of the speaking engagements that I got, I didn't have to promote myself. A lot of the things that you're going to become and you're going to be doing, you're not going to have to promote yourself. The word of mouth, the fact that you're doing such a great job, you know what I'm saying? People are going to see that you're doing such a great job that they're going to come to you. They're going to run to you. Oh, wow, you're doing this at an exceptional rate. And you're not doing it because you want them to see it. You're doing it because that's the standard that you set for who you are. So therefore, as you set that standard, it attracts people. It attracts followers. People want to join your cause. They want to join what it is that you want to do, what it is that you're doing. And so you don't have to seek out, you know what I'm saying, or promote yourself. Doesn't mean that you don't promote yourself in terms from a business standpoint, but at the end of the day, but you do a good enough job. And I guarantee that word of mouth will carry you a lot further than you can get sometimes in some of our natural promotion from there. And in our last one, I wanted to share number 5. And one of the things I was going to do too is I was going to revisit our list from last week. We got through the top 10. I was going to revisit that list that we had last week and give the last 5 points on ways to motivate yourself and motivate others as well. And so today, again, number 5 here is true leadership is the value that each person serves their generation. True leadership is the value that each person serves their generation. And so when I think about that, I think about not being a slave to people, but being a slave to our gift. Think about that. We're not being a slave to people. We're not just being tossed to and from one way or the other based off of how different people or what they want. We're not just trying to help them achieve their goals, but you know what? At the end of the day, we're achieving our goals because we're being a slave to our gift. I mean, we're working hard. We're working, you know what I'm saying? We think about, we think about being a slave, you know what I mean? Slaves didn't get paid for what they did, but they had to perform their job. You're doing that same thing for your gift, and you're giving it to the world. You're giving it to your family. You're giving it to your community, and you're understanding. So as you find something to serve people, you'll become great. As you find something to serve people, you're going to become great, because there's a passage in the Bible that says the greatest among you will be the servant. The greatest among you will be the servant. And so what makes you attractive is when you discover that what you're carrying, the world needs. you become valuable. When you understand that what you're carrying is what the world needs, you become valuable. People come to check to see if you're real. Anybody ever see a bowl of artificial fruit? You know what I'm saying? From a distance, it looks real. It looks pretty. It looks like, man, it looks delicious. You get up to that fruit, you go to touch it. You're like, oh man, this ain't nothing but a bowl of artificial fruit. Ain't nothing in here real. But guess what? How many times do you visit that bowl of fruit? Just once, because it's artificial. But if that was a real bowl of fruit, you'd probably come back for it again and again and again and again and again. And so my encouragement to you is to be authentic. You know what I'm saying? Continue to keep growing. Continue to keep pressing yourself. Somebody here is thinking about going back to school. Somebody here is thinking about taking some online classes. Somebody here is thinking about, okay, what type is reading a book right now, and that's challenging them. And that's taking them to another level. It's changing their mindset, whatever it may be. My encouragement to you is to continue to keep growing. So don't think about imitating people, because in this world there are no imitations. There are no duplications. There's only imitations. There are no two people the same. There's only imitations. And so be yourself. Be unique. Be who you were created to be. And as I said earlier, the value of each human being is the gift that you were born to deliver to humanity. Let me say that again, because this is one of the biggest points that stands out to me as we're doing this. The value in each human being is the gift that you were born to deliver to humanity. That means, think about that. The value is that gift. That means that you have something. You have something that I don't have. And you're born to deliver it to humanity. You know what I mean? When they talk about the life of Jesus Christ, and they talk about him coming here to save from sins, and they talk about he came to save our sins, but what he brought back is what we lost. That he brought back that relationship that we lost. He was here to deliver to humanity that gift of relationship. You know what I'm saying? So that we can unite one another, that we can be reunited back with God, and we can be empowered. We can receive everything that we need so that we can be successful. You think about your value, understand that your value determines your wealth. Your value determines your wealth. When you think about some of the richest people in the world, when you think about some of the most successful, we think about some of the most successful people in the world that delivered their gifts to us. Steve Jobs, rest his soul. Bill Gates, they served their gifts to the world. Those were their gifts to the world. They didn't just go out seeking money. You know what I'm saying? Their value made them as wealthy as they are, because of the value that people are attracted to the gifts that we have and that we continue to give. And knowing our gifts keeps us from being emotionally scarred, because true leaders is not doing it to get approval. You're not doing it to get approval. You're doing it because that's who you are. People don't come to you, they come to your gifts. People don't come to you, they come to your gifts. Remember that. That protects you. People don't come to you, they come to your gift. And leadership is not about getting people to like you, but to serve your gifts with class, with integrity. Okay? And, you know what I mean? To serve it to where like nobody else. You know what I mean? If you're a speaker, like when I started speaking, you know, for organizations and corporations around the country and outside the United States, I wanted to make sure that my ability to speak is that people saw me beyond just a football player. They didn't say, wait a minute, oh, he just played football. But what he's doing with us, he's connecting. I wanted to make it unique. I wanted that gift to be unique. You know what I'm saying? And with me practicing and with me having more time to do it, what is that for you that you're constantly working on over and over and over? You know what I'm saying? That you're serving, you know what I'm saying, to others, because as we say, people don't come to you, they come to your gift. Leadership is not about people liking you, but you serve them with class. Your gift never leaves you. You can abandon it though. Your gifts will never leave you, but you can abandon it. That means that, you know, when it's time for you to transition from here to eternity, you know what I mean, you can still be full, jam-packed with your gift and never let it go yet. But my encouragement to you today, tonight, is let your gift go. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. You pursue it with a passion. because you can be, because if I have a mango seed and I put that mango seed, on a tile floor, that mango seed on the tile floor is still a tree there. And if it's 50 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, it's still a tree inside that mango seed. And so again, some of us, but some of us can be that same way. We can still have all that potential on the inside of us, but never ever get to the point where we maximize our true potential because we've lived it out, because we understood that our gift never leave us, and we never abandon it as well. And so I want to say, so with that, let's go to our fifth one. Our fifth one here is let's kind of just do a quick little recap of some of these, and then I'm gonna open it up for people to share about what some of the different principles that stood out to you, and I want you, and when you share about it, I want you to share, I'm saying, what it is, I'm calling it what it is, the principle that applied to you and why it spoke to you. Okay. And so to wrap it up, the keys to personal and professional leadership for tonight is: number one, trapped in every follower is a leader. Number two, keys to discovering your personal leadership skills. Number three, there's a difference between being a boss and a leader. Number four, how and where to discover your inner leadership skills. And we talk number five, true leadership is the value that each person serves their generation. As I said, I get really passionate about sharing this because, again, this is basically been my life. It's been my life, and it's going to continue to be my life. Doesn't mean I don't go through trial and tribulation. No, I'm going through trial and tribulation even as we speak, but the gift is still there. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, it'll all pay itself forward to where it needs to go. So no matter what it is that we got to go through, we go through continuously serving our gift. So at this time right now, what I would like to do is I want to open it up, and I would like individuals. I'm gonna call on you, and you can kind of go from there. And I'm gonna go in any just kind of random order. Again, we got 15 minutes, some time, good enough time to share, and that's why I wanted to start off today without starting with any game. I wanted to give you time to share. So let's start with Michelle Gooseby. Ms. Gooseby, how are you doing? Can you go ahead and share first?
Hey, how are you?
All right.
What really struck me was your gifts never leave you, but you can abandon them. That was a strong revelation for me. It really hit home. Trusting God's timing and being patient and accepting the process, going through the process. So to me, like you said, it's still within you. Your gift does not leave you, but it's just a matter of being patient, going through the process, and also realizing that when people do come to get that gifting, that is nothing personal, but they are there for your gift. And that's fulfilling your purpose in this generation and being thankful that you are being used.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. Tom, how about you, Tom?
The thing that stuck out to me was about leading ourselves first, and that leadership starts at the personal level, then goes public, because I often think about leadership as leading others, but not necessarily leading myself. And what you said about people are living slightly below their potential. And I think if I put myself first as far as leading myself, can get, closer to my potential, or more performance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Tom. How about you, Ruth? Ruth, you want Ruth Cobb? Take your phone off of mute. It says Ruth Cobb. I'm not sure if that's Ruth. Still can't hear you. Let me come back to you. Work on your audio. Bridget, can you share?
I got you.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Donovan.
Hey.
Hey, this is Michael Cobb from the business group.
Michael, what's up, Mike?
Doing good. I'm up on the Ruth, my wife's Zoom. I like what you talked about the gift. Your gift attracts people, and then your gift is for the world. Like you talked about Steve Jobs, God rest his soul, and Bill Gates, because the Bible talks about your gift will make room for you. So I appreciate you touching on that, especially during this pandemic, that more people are looking for special gifts to help people during this time.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. You're exactly right. The gifts will make room for you as well. Big Tim, how about you, Big Tim?
All right. So I agree with both Tom and I think his name was Michael.
Michael.
Both very good points, and nice to meet you both. It occurs to me, in the years of knowing Donovan and some other people that do what he does, that there's one common theme amongst leaders, and when we relate that to bosses, all great bosses that I've known, and I've known some terrible ones too, but all great bosses are great leaders. But not all great leaders are bosses.
Right.
You look at Calais Campbell and people like that who are naturally just great leaders, but they are not bosses of anyone. So I think the two are not mutually exclusive. And I think that Tom hit the nail on the head there. It's important to understand in leadership that leadership starts internally, not externally. That you have to lead yourself first. You have to let your deeds always outrun your words, and people will follow you. Great leaders also encourage other people to be leaders. It's just been my experience is that leaders are in the leadership development business too. So I got a little off track there, but those are all the notes that I took, and some of the others touched on some things that were important to me also.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Big Tim. How about Latasha? Latasha Hall, would you like to share?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. I was driving, so I caught most of it when the phone wasn't cutting in and out, but I did not want to miss.
Hello? Latasha, you still there?
Oh, did I unmute myself and mute myself back again?
Yeah, you did. But you're back though.
Okay. But yeah, what I was saying, what I've heard so far, everybody kind of touched on everything that I would have said, because it was definitely great. I think what stood out the most was when you spoke about everybody having a leader inside of them. It's just a matter of kind of releasing that leader and kind of not being afraid to kind of step out of the box, because I agree, we all have the potential, but so many people kind of sleep on pretty much what we're blessed with. I don't fear of rejection. I'm not really sure, but that one definitely stuck out to me along with what everybody else has said tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Monique B.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, great. I guess for me, what kind of struck a chord while I was listening was when you talked about the fruit and the tree, and that people don't come to the tree for the tree, they come to the tree for the fruit. And that really struck a chord with me, as someone that people will come to for things, and then I may not necessarily hear from them again, but that really helped me in a way to be like, that's really what leadership and servanthood is about, is the people or the community or whatever it is that you serve, and it's not about you. So just keeping that perspective, and that I think will definitely go a long way, at least for me, of remembering that it's not a personal thing. It's just I've been given certain gifts, and when people see those gifts, that's what attracts them, and I need to focus on that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Monique. How about Marie Smith?
Good evening.
Good evening.
What really stood out for me is the part where you said it's not natural for a leader to be timid, and that we're always told to be seen and not heard. I personally have experienced this, and I see it all the time with people, is if you have an idea or a suggestion and
You blanked out on us, Monique. I mean, Marie. Marie, are you there? It seemed like it cut her off. Let's go to Ben. Ben.
Hey, Donovan. I like the analogy of the seed. And what I really liked was you not only touched on what you're going to become, but part of the process is that you're going to go through trials and tribulations.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Sean Goolsby. Sean, long time.
Hey, how's it going, Donovan?
All right, Sean.
Okay, what really hit home for me was we're created to lead. We need more leaders, not followers. Knowing that people are coming to you for your gift, and just trying to figure out what your gift is. I know a lot of times we try to do things because we think that's what we're supposed to do without relying on our gift. Your gift is going to let you know, like you said, what direction you should be moving towards. And people are going to come to you for that gift, and you got to be ready for it. So that's what really struck home to me, is just have gifts, just honing in on those gifts and letting those gifts lead me as far as whatever career or whatever volunteer opportunities or what I'm trying to do it according to my gift. So that's what I got from it.
Awesome. And then I wanted to personally thank you as well, as among others, for filling out that feedback form. And your comments were, I really felt that to the heart as well. It seems like Marie is back. Marie, did you make a comeback?
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. My computer died.
That's all right. I wanted to come back to you so we finish your thought.
Oh, I was just saying, a lot of times we're told, right, like not to be seen, not heard. And I think a lot of times we don't speak up. And sometimes when we do speak up, we get pushback. So it makes us not be so assertive or, keep pressing. We just kind of shut down. Like you said, we abandon our leadership skills, so to speak, because we always get shut down. So I think this is a great reminder, like you said, to just give us that extra encouragement.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
With that, is there anybody that I missed tonight? Is there anybody on the call that I missed tonight? I think we had 11 people on. And actually, I like the small groups because I get a chance to hear you share. This is not just a spout of a talking head. I like to hear, your insight and what stood out to you as well. So I want to say thank you for everybody participating. With that, I emailed to you, everybody, the feedback form for tonight. Again, feel free. It's no obligation, to fill that out. It takes a couple minutes, just 2 minutes or so, just to kind of fill that out about tonight's call. Again, I take that so that way it prepares me for the next call, for the next thing that we do. Again, you're constantly sharpening your saw and you're getting better. Just so again, as you're serving a gift. We talked about the tree in the term of analogy. I'm the tree, and my gifts is teaching and encouraging. And the more I continue to do it, and the more I learn about it, it's like somebody having a fruit and tasting the fruit, and they say, this fruit tastes a little bitter. This fruit tastes a little sour, or this fruit tastes sweet, and it's just right. That allows me to sharpen. Sharpen my gifts as well in terms of relating to you and empathizing, with you as well, so that way you can become, all that God has intended for you. With that being said, as far as time, we are right on time. It is 7:57. Going into the 8 o'clock hour. Are there any final words anyone have on their heart that they wanted to share before we close this call? If not, I will say that probably our next one, I mentioned it last week, I will be doing one. I look forward, Lord willing, to doing one in the New Year's for goal setting and starting as far as our new year. And I want to welcome you guys to that. I'll let you know about that. We'll get through prior to Christmas, the Christmas holiday and whatnot. I may be going about every 2 weeks. It's just kind of every 2 weeks. I haven't really said it, but a lot of things that we hit out of the list of skills that people, we will be talking about, some of which we hit tonight, but we will be hitting several of those as well. Feel free to join those calls as well. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody in advance for completing any, the feedback form. I want to thank you in advance for any of your comments. I want to thank you for just being present and being you. And thank you for the gift that you're giving to this world and the people that you serve. And so with that, man, God bless you guys. Have a great night. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
All right. Thank you, Donovan.
Right,
Appreciate
thanks.
that.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.